win by Alireza, but it was kind of handed to him with this move G5. That was a crazy move.
It was a crazy move. I will say that Alireza's handling of the early middle game, really impressive, the way he got his knight around. You're right though, Levy. First of all, bishop takes G5, not taking back with a pawn. Then playing the move G5. Pretty panicky reactions there from Magnus Carlsen, and the hometown favorite jumps ahead to a 1-point lead. I think it's time to wrap up the match. There's really no more intrigue.
Yeah, let's go home,
Magnus
French fans.
Yep,
That's it. Alireza wins the match.
People heading toward the exits.
That's crazy. All the fans are exiting.
No,
unfortunately, that's not how it works. You got to beat Magnus over the course of 3 hours.
Oh my gosh, what a game we just saw. Another King's Indian by Alireza. So any King's Indian lovers out there, you are in for a treat. As Magnus keeps embracing the challenge, and we will embrace a different kind of challenge. And get Danny Wrench onto our big screen. Danny is standing by with some very special segments. Danny, take it away. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Don. I agree, the fans are in for a treat with this match. And Nolan Arbaugh, Neuralink Patient Ground Zero, you were in for a treat. You got to make the first move of the Speeches Championship Final. I know you're a huge fan, man. What was that like?
It was awesome. I'm really grateful to chess.com for reaching out to me and letting me do this. It's kind of a dream of mine to do something like this, so I'm super blessed, and it was great.
What made you choose the move you did, and how much time did you think about it? Were you nervous about which move to make?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for weeks. I decided to go with the bomb cloud for the memes. That's about it, yeah.
Nice. But you look great, by the way.
So much. Thanks, man. You look good, too.
How's been the trip so far? Just last thoughts on the Speeches Championship, the live finals, the fans, this whole thing. And your thoughts on the trip to Paris and maybe also the match?
Yeah, it's definitely been one of the highlights of my year. I'm so glad I get to be here. The match is... it's super exciting.
You're rooting for Magnus, right? You're a Magnus fan.
I am. But I don't know. It's going to be close. They're both in great form, so we'll see what happens.
Nolan rooting for Magnus to maybe level things up here. I know the fans in Paris, we don't want them to know that upstairs. They might not feel the same way, but all right. We're going to throw it back upstairs to Danya and Levy to take it away as we've got another game in full swing here. Maybe Magnus going to level things up at the end of this one, Danya. Take it away.
Well, thank you, Danny, and thank you, Nolan, once again, for everything. I'm glad that you were off, who's a Magnus fan and who's a Firouzja fan. But, of course, big shout-out to Nolan for bringing so much attention to chess, for everything that he's done, and just for being an awesome guy. Levy, in the meantime, not much has happened on this board.
For the second time in a row, we've got a rook on d6 causing havoc.
Yeah, I mean, Magnus is letting Alireza have havoc because bishop c4 is coming, and we saw the same structure earlier, but this bishop on g4, there is no bishop on g4, there is no bishop, and there is no access to the d4 square.
What's funny is I feel they're getting a very similar structure from kind of different openings. Like there's always like a d takes e5 type of thing happening, and then there's always like an open d5. shocked he hasn't played bishop f7. Maybe he's looking at something more vicious, like rook e8, which is a positional disaster, completely dominating the 8th rank.
Yeah, I mean, the restraint to avoid taking on f7, maybe he's looking for a more beautiful victory, but I don't think this is the time in the match to, to try to please the fans. I think he's pleasing the fans already with everything he's offered us this weekend.
Why has he not taken the pawn with check? I don't get. Is there something better here? It's just that
you could even play queen e4 right away because this pawn isn't really going anywhere.
Yes, yeah. But what? What are we doing here? I don't know.
But bishop f7 does feel very, very tempting, followed by something like queen e4. And Magnus savoring the moment.
I have nothing else to say about this position. There's a pawn hanging with a check, and it's not a bad move.
Now, Levy, you were right though. I think rook to e8
is. Alright, yeah, you were gonna say rook e8 was +5, but this is +4.
You know why rook e8 was +5? Let me show really quickly as Magnus puts the finishing touches on this game. Instead of rook takes threat of queen to g6.
Wow, the double pin!
And this is why I had to show this line. And what does this threaten? This threatens knight e5, a triple pin, because you can't take the knight either, because the doubly pinned queen is pinning the bishop. How did Magnus miss this? I don't know.
No, I think he might have seen it, but what am I doing? Just play the normal thing.
Ooh, mate threat on g8, d7 now.
Queen g8, sack the queen to promote.
No, this is just a disaster. This is not the best advertisement for the King's Indian, but maybe it has something to do with who's playing white.
Yeah, but also the previous game was nice. He won.
Wait a second. D7, a slightly sloppy move. I think Magnus might have been relying on knight e5 here.
But it should work.
Should work.
I mean, knight e5 takes, and then when the freaking pawn's on d7, like, you gotta be winning, but
Alireza's threatening queen takes d7 because he has the g8 square under control. You could play a move like queen to d6 to meet queen takes d7 with queen f8, but Magnus taking more of his time. If Alireza can get this down to a time scramble, he gives himself an outside chance of doing the unimaginable.
If Alireza Firouzja saves this game, I will be speechless.
The bishop can slide up to e6. It's not the quantity of passed pawns, it is the quality.
But queen can come back, and the fact that black's pawns are doubled makes it even worse.
I'm really impressed with Alireza's defensive skill here. The fact that this game is still going, that Magnus has 20 seconds on his clock, it just doesn't feel as confident as we're used to him seeing converting these positions.
That's really the story. Alireza has been very sharp defensively, but I do sense hesitancy from Magnus more than anything else.
King f8, trying to get the king involved.
c5, let's kick it away. Yeah, queen c5, and let's start taking...
Get out of here. He takes c6, threatening queen c8.
It's over. Queen c8 is... Okay, but he takes on g4, but I mean, okay, queen c5 and
another
queen
check on c5.
c5 and
I
queen
said,
c8.
get out of here.
Yes.
The commentators are Levy and Daniel, not the king on g7, and
Okay.
Magnus ties the match.